On May 26, 2021, the city of San Jose, California, woke up to a day that would end in profound sorrow. What started as a regular Wednesday morning at the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority light rail yard turned into the scene of a devastating event that would shake the entire community. This is the story of that tragic day, a look at the lives we lost, the heroes who emerged, and the questions that still linger in the heart of Silicon Valley. Let's go back to that morning. The VTA rail yard, located near downtown San Jose, is usually a hub of activity. It's where trains are dispatched and maintained, a place familiar to the hundreds of employees who keep the city's public transit moving. The early shift was underway, with workers preparing for the day ahead. It was business as usual, a routine that had been performed countless times before. But at approximately 6:30 a.m., that routine was shattered by the sound of gunfire. An employee, who had worked at the VTA for about a decade, opened fire on his colleagues. The attack was swift and unexpected, creating chaos and panic within the facility. As the first shots rang out, workers scrambled for safety, hiding in offices and calling 911. The initial calls to emergency services were frantic, painting a confusing picture of an active shooter situation at a location that should have been a safe workplace. Law enforcement responded with incredible speed. Within minutes, Santa Clara County Sheriff's deputies and San Jose police officers were on the scene, surrounding the VTA buildings. They knew they had to act fast to prevent further loss of life. As they entered the building, they faced a tense and dangerous environment, not knowing where the shooter was or if he was still active. The attack unfolded across two separate buildings at the VTA facility. The shooter moved deliberately, targeting his coworkers. For those trapped inside, these were moments of sheer terror. Some were able to escape, while others hid, sending desperate text messages to their loved ones, telling them they were in danger and that they loved them. These messages offer a heartbreaking glimpse into the final moments of some of the victims. As law enforcement cleared the buildings, they made a grim discovery. The shooter had taken his own life as deputies closed in. The immediate threat was over, but the aftermath was just beginning to unfold. The scene was secured, and medical personnel rushed in to help the injured. Sadly, for many, it was too late. In the hours that followed, the full scope of the tragedy became clear. 9 VTA employees lost their lives that day. These weren't just statistics. They were individuals with families, friends, and stories. They were fathers, brothers, and sons. They were people like Taptejip Singh, who, in his final moments, reportedly warned his colleagues to stay away, helping some to hide before he was shot. His actions were nothing short of heroic. Another victim, Paul de la Cruz Mejia, was described as a loving family man who was always willing to help others. He was supposed to go to Hawaii the next day to celebrate his wedding anniversary. Adrian Beleza was a young father with a 2-year-old son, just starting his life. Alex Ward Fritch was a father of 2 who had just celebrated his wife's birthday. Each person lost that day leaves behind a void that can never be filled. The victims were Abdul Vahab Alagmandan, Adrian Beleza, Alex Ward Fritch, Jose de Jesus Hernandez III, Lars Kepler Lane, Michael Joseph Rudometkin, Paul de la Cruz Mejia, Taptejip Singh, and Timothy Michael Romo. Their names and their stories are a crucial part of remembering this day. As the community grappled with this immense loss, questions began to surface. Who was the shooter, and why did he do this? Investigations revealed a history of discontent. The shooter was reportedly unhappy at work and had a history of anger issues. Coworkers had noted his moodiness, but no one could have predicted this level of violence. Further investigation uncovered that the shooter had an arsenal of legally obtained firearms and high-capacity magazines at his home, which he had set on fire before heading to the VTA yard. This premeditated act added another layer of horror to the event. The fire department responded to his house while the shooting was still unfolding, unaware of the connection at first. The incident raised serious questions about workplace safety and how to identify and support individuals who may be struggling or pose a risk. In the wake of the shooting, the San Jose community came together in mourning. Vigils were held, and memorials grew outside the VTA facility. Flowers, candles, and notes of condolence filled the sidewalks, a testament to the city's collective grief. The VTA suspended its light rail service, not only because the rail yard was a crime scene, but also because the emotional toll on the remaining employees was immense. The entire organization was in shock. The families of the victims faced the unimaginable task of navigating life without their loved ones. Their grief was public, shared by a city and a nation that has seen far too many of these tragedies. They spoke of the kindness, dedication, and love that defined the men they lost. Their stories painted a vivid picture of the human cost of this violence. The VTA and local authorities offered support services, including counseling for employees and families. The healing process would be long and difficult. For many VTA workers, returning to the place where their friends and colleagues were killed was a daunting prospect. The shared trauma created a strong bond among the survivors, but it also left deep emotional scars that will take years to heal. This event once again brought the conversation about gun control to the forefront in California and across the United States. Local leaders, including San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo, called for stronger gun laws and measures to prevent such tragedies from happening again. California already has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, yet this event still occurred. It highlighted the complex challenges in addressing gun violence, which involve not just laws, but also mental health support and workplace culture. It is important to remember that if you or someone you know is going through a tough time or struggling with difficult emotions, there is help available. You are not alone. Reaching out to a mental health professional or a support hotline can make a significant difference. Resources like the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and local crisis centers are available 24/7 to provide confidential support. Taking care of our mental well-being is just as important as our physical health. Months later, the VTA slowly began to resume service. The return was emotional and symbolic. It represented a step toward normalcy, but everyone knew that things would never be the same. The rail yard, once just a workplace, is now a site of remembrance. The memory of the 9 men who lost their lives is now woven into the fabric of the organization and the city of San Jose. The San Jose shooting is a painful reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating impact of violence. It's a story of loss, but it's also a story of heroism, of community resilience, and of the enduring love that families hold for those they lost. As we reflect on this tragedy, let's honor the victims by remembering their names, their stories, and the lives they lived. Let's also commit to creating safer communities, workplaces, and a society where everyone feels supported and valued. Thank you for taking the time to learn about this important story. If this video resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content that explores significant events and the human stories behind them. Stay safe and take care of one another.